Literacy areas I chose were comprehension and reading. 5 learning centers that I chose were magnetic letters, word chains, pocket charts, reading aloud, and sight words. Magnetic letters helps comprehension, word chains help comprehension and reading, pocket chart help with reading, reading aloud with comprehension and reading, and sight words with reading, as well as comprehension. Magnetic words for kindergarten, that's the grade I chose. They will practice words with magnetic letters to gain comprehension. Some of the materials they will be using are magnetic letters and whiteboards. We will practice in groups first. Students will first start by building words, and then we'll continue to make sentences. A good first practice would be to spell their names with magnetic letters. When I have observed and see that they have made progress, then that is when we will start to build complete sentences or questions. For example, how are you? What's your name? My name is. This activity would be great for learning disabilities because it does not really require much speaking, so it would be beneficial for those with hearing issues or kids that are deaf. It could also be a good activity for ELL students because I could pair up students with the same native language and they could practice in their native language. For example, if I have Spanish speaking students, I can pair them up and then they will be able to build sentences or words in Spanish. I will know that students understand and have mastered the objectives by observing and taking notes. When they are in groups, I will be walking around and observing, as well as helping just in case they don't understand or if they have any questions. This center covers literacy because they will be spelling and reading what their partners have spelled, like the questions I have provided in question 6. The center is culturally relevant because, like I explained in question 7, students will be paired up with students that speak the same native language and will be able to spell in their native language. Or they could also be paired up with students that speak different native languages and will learn about each other's culture and language. Word chains. With the objective with word chains they will notice patterns, improve phonic awareness, and they will be able to focus on individual sounds. Some of the materials would be worksheets, words, whiteboard, and pencils. This activity would be a whole group activity during circle time. I will say a word, they will repeat after me, they will spell a word. I will then give them an idea of how they can change a word and make it rhyme as well, such as pig and big. After giving them the examples, I will allow them to participate to see if they have understood the concept. Once I have seen that they understand the concept, they will give it a try themselves. I will support students in the center by explaining, giving examples, allowing them to participate during circle time, allowing them to ask questions, and me answering their questions. I can adapt word change by adapting it to their level, whether that is using simpler words or making it more complex. I could also use visuals and show them patterns. I will know that students understand and have mastered the objectives of the center by making observations. I can also give them quizzes, and I will then hand them a sheet with different words that they will match what the word goes with. For example, if I can make a list of different words on the right side and then a list of words that match the words in the left side. And they will then do cross to whichever word it matches. I will know that students have understood and have mastered the objectives of the center by making observations. This center fosters literacy because they will listen to word examples I give them, read the words, and write the words. This center is culturally relevant because they can also see, when I give them a worksheet, I can also provide visuals, and if just in case they don't know the word in English, they can look at the visual and know what it is, and they might know it in their native language. Pocket charts. This supports reading. The objectives of the center will be that they will learn how to make complete sentences and they will learn how to work together. Some of the materials that are needed are the pocket chart, word cards, a Ziploc bag to put the words in, and volunteers. Each student will get a word and they must work together as a group and build a full sentence that makes sense. For example, one student will have I, another the word C, another a letter A, another red, and the last will have the word apple. All the letters will be mixed up and they will not be too easy for them. Each one of them will read their word out loud and will work together as a class to place the words in the correct order. For example, I see a red apple. They will then get in order to make the sentence make sense. I will support students by providing the materials. We will first start this activity. When we first start this activity, I will provide examples and I will answer questions and use words of their level. I will know students have understood and have mastered the objectives of the center by making observations and making sure that they are able to build sentences and know how to work together to build those sentences. The center fosters a literacy area because they will be building sentences and can even learn new vocabulary words. The center is culturally relevant because I can include cultural aspects in their pocket chart. For example, foods from different places, different cultures. Reading out loud supports reading and comprehension. The goal is for students to have a higher reading level, literacy, and listening. Some of the materials are books, carpets, and volunteers to read or answer questions. We will gather on the carpet together and we'll have circle time during the circle time we will choose a book as a class. I will read the book to them. While reading to them, I will make stops and point out on the book, point things out from the book and ask questions about the book and ask students if they have questions. After I'm done reading the book to them, we will talk about what the book was about and things we have noticed, things we find interesting. If they have any questions, I can answer those questions, or they can help each other answer those questions. I will support students in the classroom by reading to them. When I'm reading, I will point out vocabulary words and ask if they know the definition. If they do, I will ask them to share with the class what they believe the word means. And if they don't know the meaning of the word, we will listen to other students sharing their answer. After students have shared what they think the word means, I will tell them the definition and give them examples. I will know students have mastered the center by making observations and seeing if the reading level has made any progress. If the reading level has increased, I will know that they understood and that the center is beneficial to them. The center fosters literacy area that is intended because we'll read a different book every day and they will build literacy skills. This center is culturally relevant because we can read books about different cultures. Reading books about different cultures will help students understand other cultures and how different and maybe similar all cultures are. Sight words. This literacy area supports reading. The objective is for children to recognize words instantly and they will learn new vocabulary words. Some of the materials are word charts, markers, texts, and worksheets. During circle time, I will put a text up on the board and I will read it to them. After I have read the text to them, I will reread it, but this time as I'm reading, students will point out the sight words. For example, if I'm reading, I like chocolate, students will say the sight words as I read. When I say I, well, they will say I after, and like, they will say like after, chocolate, and so on. After we have gone over everything together, another activity I could use is by giving them a worksheet with different sentences and they will mark the sight words. I will support students in the center by showing them most sight words when reading to them, pointing out the sight words, and making observations. I will adapt the center by pointing out sight words throughout the class, even if we're not speaking about sight words. I will help students recognize sight words rapidly. I will know students have mastered the objectives of the center when they are able to point out sight words without me telling them. The center fosters the literacy area it is intended for because they will be learning new words and will be able to recognize them immediately. This center is culturally relevant because they can be selected to reflect the language and students' experiences in the classroom.